It's like HBO, and I'm getting tired of watching the same movie week after week.
You are Locked On Trojans, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Fight on, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Holkin, and thank you for making Locked On USC part of the Locked On Network, your first listen every day. Wherever you're going to watch this podcast, well, you can watch it on YouTube. It's going to be free. And wherever you download it, it's always going to be free, and I'm always going to appreciate your support. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet. You're going to get started with $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Yeah, and yet another fourth quarter full of mistakes, miscues, whatever you want to call them. The offense, the defense, special teams, everybody had a hand in blowing this game. Everybody who made the trip. USC held a 14-point lead, 13 and a half minutes left to go in the game. And they even had a 6-point lead and the ball with 2 minutes left. And they still found a way to lose this game. It's amazing. New week, new loss, different outcome, different way of losing the game. I'm not even mad right now. I mean, I am, don't get me wrong. I'm just more of like, it's incredulous. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you really going to try and give this to me? This is the gift? Take it back. The team literally cannot make a winning play. They can't find a way to win. Doesn't matter which player's on the field, which coach is involved. It ain't happening. I mean, ever since USC found a way to come back and beat LSU game 1 of the year in Las Vegas, it's like they've traveled back in time to 2023. It's amazing what's going on right now. So USC fell to 3-4 overall, 1-4 in conference. They still haven't won on the road. And they lost 29-28 to Maryland. Let me say it again, 29-28 to Maryland. And again, they blew another fourth quarter lead. So let me ask you, what does Michigan, Minnesota, and Maryland have in common? Well, all three schools start with the letter M, and they each beat USC after trailing in the fourth quarter at home. Kudos to those teams for finding a way to win. I'm tired of getting punched in the gut. That's all I can say. I literally told Eric McKinney, my partner over there at wearesc.com, we're in the press box, right before it happened. I said, has USC had a kick blocked this year, return for a score? Man, Karnak. I was half right. They blocked the field goal. We're going to talk about that a lot more during the show. Just hang tight. Bear with it. Bear with me. But I can't even point to officiating playing a role in this game. There were some bad calls, but it had no effect on the outcome of this game. If anything, USC probably, well, no, they had a 12th man on the field. We'll talk about that. There was no bias officiating in this game. This loss falls right in the lap of Lincoln Riley, as well as the players who on the field aren't just not getting the job done. They're not being put in the position to be successful. Look, I'm not sure this team right now has the confidence to win another game. I mean, they will, I hope. But right now, these types of things, the way they're losing, I mean, number one, these losses are really hard to accept for the fans. I know what it's like to be a competitive person in a locker room. I know what's going through these guys' heads right now. They're starting to believe we're not capable of winning these games. I mean, look, Coach Riley doesn't have confidence in the run game. When USC was up 14 points in the fourth quarter, they stopped running the ball. They stopped taking time off the clock. This is clock management 101. And then play the game. You're facing fourth down, 1 yard to go. It's late. Instead of going for it with Woody Marks, you elected to kick, a 41-yard field goal. That's the kick that ended up getting blocked. If you want to build your team's confidence, killer instinct, that's the time to go for it. You're on the plus side of the field. Tell your defense, you know what? Even if we don't get it, you guys are going to get the stop. Tell your offensive line, go move that pile. Get me 1 yard. Look, I got to be honest. The biggest surprise after 7 games, this team is 3-4, and they're finding new ways to lose each week. Every week, it's a new loss. There's, in this game, too much confidence in the passing game. I mean, Miller, you're asking him to drop back to pass 50 times, and I get it at the end of the game. You had a few extra ones there, but 50 pass attempts? I'm seriously losing my confidence in Coach Riley's ability to rally the troops. I'm at the doorstep right now. I was one of the first people inside the press, I guess we'll call it the press room, the visitors' press room, to do the post-game presser. Athletic director Jen Cohn, she was already in there, seated, legs crossed, ready to listen to every answer that Coach Riley had. And at this point, I'm not sure what she can do. I mean, again, I know she's listening to how Coach responds to the questions. I know everyone was waiting to hear Coach Riley say, hey, we're 1 play away here. That didn't happen. And again, I'm not sure what she can do right now. It's not her hire. Let's not forget that. That was a Mike Bone, Brandon Sosna hire. Oh, by the way, Brandon Sosna, he was at the game. So was Andrew Voorhees. Again, he's got a really big buyout. So everyone who wants Coach Riley to be fired right now, take a deep breath. I get it. I'm frustrated just like you. But after today's debacle, I mean, Coach Riley didn't even come close to say, yeah, we're a play away here from making that happen. He knew. He could not touch that line today. This game was lost on offense, defense, special teams. On offense, it was just disjointed. Miller Moss, again, some of the throws are short. Some of them are sailing long. There was some really sloppy tackling on defense, especially in the secondary. Here's what, on defense, even when USC was getting pressure on the quarterback and they got there, they couldn't finish the job. It was obvious to me that USC's defense, I knew Mike Loxley, Maryland's head coach, had no respect for the job USC's defense was doing in this game. When he went for 2 early, that told me they had zero respect for USC's defense. He knew that they can do whatever they wanted. He was right. And again, even special teams got into the fray. Get the field goal block. And on that play, on the left side, number 9, Donnell, whatever his last name is, he went through the USC's offensive line like a hot knife through butter. It's almost like he wasn't touched. You can hear my frustration. You want to hear Lendale White's frustration? This is what he said after the game. Again, not my words, Lendale White. I'm going to be completely honest. Lincoln Riley should be embarrassed. I agree with that part. They should probably do him like they did Lane Kiffin. I don't agree with that part. If you're going to let the coach go, you don't do it on the tarmac. I understand Lendale's sentiments. I don't think USC is going to do that ever again. I'm going to talk about the offense in the next segment. I've got USC's offensive numbers, and we're going to start talking about what's next with Miller Moss and the quarterback situation. Guys, that was a tough loss. If you're hanging out with your significant other, your lady friend, she might be wanting to give you a little bit of pity love right now. And if that happens, you always want to make sure you're ready, right? Perform in the bedroom. Hims, they're going to provide access to treatments that can help you stay hard and last longer, giving you that boost of confidence so you can be ready whenever the mood strikes. Hopefully the mood's still striking. Hims is changing men's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. The process is 100% online, so there's no need for uncomfortable doctor's visits. You're just going to answer a series of questions on their site, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option. And if it's prescribed, your medication will get shipped to you directly, discreet packaging, and they're going to do it for free. No insurance is involved. Low price covers everything from the treatments to the ongoing care. And with hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, HIMS can help you find the right ED option that works just for you. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/lockedon. That's HIM like Mark, S like Sam.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/lockedon. The products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved or verified for the safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Prices vary based on product and subscription plan. So if you're in the mood and you got someone, go vent some frustration in the bedroom. All right, let's talk about the offense. Miller Moss, quarterback. If you look at his stats, they aren't terrible. I mean, they're pretty good, but there is one terrible, terrible mistake he made in this game. And it's becoming a trend. It's becoming a habit. I think this was his fourth game in a row with an interception. But overall, his numbers, 34 for 50, 336 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, very costly. 68% completion rate. That's good. Here's who he was going up against, though. Maryland's quarterback, 39 for 50, 373 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 78% completion rate. A lot of his stuff, a lot of dink and dunks, a lot of yards after catch. Very creative play calling. I had a feeling coming into this game that Miller was going to have a big numbers game against Maryland. I mean, they give up 250 yards in the passing game every week. So I had a feeling that Miller would surpass that, and he did. Again, 336 yards, 3 touchdowns, but it's that interception. I also said I was hoping, I felt like Miller would have make better decisions in this game because of his last few games. And he did for the most part. But that one, just such a bad decision. Such a bad decision. Instead of throwing it out of bounds, he threw it, towards Zachariah Branch, middle of the field. And yeah, one play later after the interception, Maryland was in the end zone. Was it the reason USC lost? No. But you can't be giving away points like that. You can't be giving the ball away. Earlier in the game, I mean, if you remember that play, you might remember Maryland's quarterback, Billy Edwards. Similar situation. Not sure how he got rid of it, but the ball got past the line of scrimmage, and I think it landed out of bounds or near the sideline. Nobody was in the vicinity of the ball. And again, I talked about it in the first segment. USC's defense, they get there, but they can't finish the job. Achille Arnold, he was robbed of a sack on that play. Again, 4th and 11. I don't know how he got the ball past the line of scrimmage. I really don't. He was the player of the game, their quarterback. I mean, he did what he wanted. It wasn't so much the throws and the yardage. It was he knew when to run, and when he did run, it was productive, including the game-winning touchdown. And, I mean, look, you want the ball in your playmaker's hands. I'm not sure who USC's playmaker is right now, but Maryland's quarterback completed 9 of his final 10 passes. He made sure they won the game. That I go back to the USC versus LSU game. Where is that will to win? I'm sure they have it, but something's getting lost in the translation between hut, hike and executing the play. USC's got some great wide receivers. I would have given Jacoby Lane the player of the game award just based on that one-handed touchdown grab that he had, left-handed. Amazing. But then he disappeared. I mean, what, in the fourth quarter, he got back involved a little bit. Mekhi Lemon led the team in receiving, 8 catches, 89 yards. I was talking about Miller Moss and his throws. He and Deuce right now, they're not working well together for the most part. And how much of that is on Miller? How much of that is on Deuce? Yes, Miller needs to get the ball out there a little further, a little more oomph in his throws. But there was one deep throw that hit Deuce in the chest. He's got to play a little bit stronger. He's got to play like the touchdown run that the touchdown catch and run that he had. I mean, in this game, 3 catches, 52 yards, 1 touchdown. He was targeted 5 times. So we know the 2 that I'm talking about. Look, I'm not sure what the next move is for USC, Lincoln Riley, quarterback position, but right now they're 3-4. And Miller, when he was talking after the game, he had that 1,000-yard stare. And look, I'm a huge Miller Moss fan. Huge. You know that already. Dude is a tough son of a bitch. But once again, USC's offensive line is getting pushed around. Guys are missing blocks. They're tripping over their own feet. And Miller's paying the price for this. He just is. Even when he has time and guys are open, his throws are sailing. Or right now, he's having trouble completing the short little dump-off pass to Woody Marks, those types of things. He's short-arming things. It's hard to watch. Again, at this point, I don't think it hurts anything. They're 3-4. I think you got to start putting packages in specifically for Jaden Mayava. I talked about playmakers. There's no chemistry between Miller and Zachariah Branch. How much of that is play calling? I don't know. But I'll tell you this, what I do know right now, no more punt returns. I'm done. Let's give Mekhi Lemon a shot. Those first 2 fair catches, they made absolutely no sense whatsoever. I mean, he's fair catching the ball when it's still in the air, but on the first one, he's backtracking like a center fielder. There's so much space between him and the defenders coming at him. And the second one was even worse. Yeah, it's detrimental to special teams right now. Look, right now, I'm more open than ever to trying something different, whether it's a quarterback, play calling duties. You know how I feel about that. But it's criminal right now, the way the run game is being abandoned, especially when you need it. And what's even more criminal, Maryland gave USC 7 points with an extra player on the field, and you still lost. You still lost the game when Maryland gave you an extra play because they were stupid on defense. You're up 14 points in the second half. Can't have this. You got to lean into your running game. You got to show the other team that, you know what? We are a tough physical team. We're not a finesse team. But they're wearing down as the game goes on. They're wearing down. Other teams are watching it happen. The fans are watching it happen. All right, one more segment to go. Hey, are you an NFL fan? Well, the season is well on into it. I'm not a big NFL fan. I love following the USC players who play in the NFL. But if you want a big return on FanDuel, you should check out America's #1 sports book. And you could do more than just place your bets there. If you're following a bunch of games, you could check your live play-by-play. You can check out all the stats. You can do even more than that. So if you've never used FanDuel before, here's your chance. You can get started with $200 in bonus bets, and all you have to do, place a $5 bet. Guaranteed, they are going to give you $200 in bonus bets if you place your first $5 bet with FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com. All right, so Lincoln Riley chose to kick a field goal instead of going for it on 4th and 1. That would have iced the game. Again, there was 2 minutes left. You just need a first down. He was asked about it after the game. Yeah, we talked about it. Apparently, nobody was able to convince him. On Thursday, I asked him, you're doing all the right things on our Thursday Zoom call. You're doing all the right things, coach. Just you're not getting the results. How do you keep that message fresh throughout the week? Believe, just buy in, yada, yada, yada. Because as the season goes on and the losses keep happening, teams take on the personality of their head coach. So what you're saying, what you're telling the media, obviously, hopefully is matching up with what you're telling the team in the locker room. But right now, if the team is taking on the personality of the head coach, they're mentally, I think they're soft. I don't want to call them physically soft, but right now they don't believe in themselves. And that starts at the head coach. And again, I come back to that 4th and 1, not going for it. That sends the loudest message possible. No matter what's being said, whatever type of rah-rah speech you're giving in the locker room, post-game, pre-game, halftime, that gets lost. Not going for it on 4th and 1, that message rings louder than anything. And look, after the game, Coach Riley, he didn't try and offer up any platitudes, and he took the hit for this one. I mean, after all, he told us he's been at 2 blue bloods, Oklahoma, now USC. Coincidentally, both are struggling. Some question his recruiting. He hasn't been there for 3 years, though. And with the transfer portal, Oklahoma, Brent Venables, he's got his own problems. Oklahoma's problems aren't because of Lincoln Riley. Maybe this much. Coach Rose was asked why his program struggles to close out wins. And again, this was right after the game. One of the first questions, his answer, 3 words: I don't know. That kind of reminds me of Mr. Hand, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I don't know. Remember Jeff Spicoli? Some of you have seen the movie. You understand where I'm going with this. I don't know. I didn't look over at USC's athletic director, Jen Cohen, because I was holding the iPhone, trying to make sure to keep everything focused up front. But I would love to have seen her face when that answer came out. If anybody saw it, let me know. Again, he's taken responsibility after the game. Quote, it just simply hasn't been enough. Just like last week. I own it. It's my responsibility. I have to get the team to play better, especially at the end of the game. Look, at the end of the first half, I was wondering if Coach Riley was trolling the media, because I bring it up all the time, his lack of timeout usage. What was that timeout call with 1 second left just to end up taking a knee? What happened? It was just weird. And again, imagine end of the game, 2 minutes left. Again, this is my vent. This is where this is cathartic for me. I got to get this out. It's 4th and 1 college football. Woody Marks, you're running the ball well. Go get the first down and end the freaking game. Imagine in today's college football doing that. I don't know. Just hard to accept. I said at the top of the segment, the team is a reflection of your head coach. Well, this is what he said after the game. We're confident in every game. We're confident in all these games that come down to the wire. And how did that just happen? ? End quote. That didn't sound very confident. Like you said, Coach, I don't know. I'm not calling Coach Riley Jeff Spicoli. I'm not. But that answer was very Jeff Spicoli-ish. Can't have it. Cannot have it. All right, USC is going to be on a short week. They're going to go home. They're going to take on Rutgers. UCLA beat Rutgers in New Jersey, I believe. Last time I looked, UCLA was winning the game. I haven't seen any scores. So if I flub that one, who cares, right? All I care about is USC losing again. I'm tired of watching this movie. Or at least, can we get a different ending other than USC is going to lose? You know what? They are finding a new way to lose every week. There is a new ending. Today, at a field goal block, led to the winning touchdown. All right. I will be back with another episode tomorrow. That's what we do. This was my instant reaction. USC post-game. They lost 29-28 to Maryland. Oh, by the way, Maryland is the first team in the big conference to own a winning record against USC. What did I say on the last episode of Locked on USC? That's right. That's right. All right. Until that next episode, everyone, you know what to do.